Hello, welcome to the Kopala TV main news. We get straight into our headlines. Graduating students on the Copper Belt welcome the reopening of higher learning institutions. SACORD commends all political parties participating in local by-elections in Northern and Western Province. And in international news, South African schools reopen as COVID-19 lockdown is eased. Join us in a bit after this. To present the Kopala TV main news in detail, my name is Wabwila Musongole. The graduating students on the Copper Belt have welcomed the reopening of higher learning institutions in a phased approach. Details are in the following report.
On 1st June, all the examination classes reopened in both public and private schools in Zambia, and these include classes in both secondary and primary levels. On Friday last week, our Education Minister Dr. Brian Mushimba announced that higher learning institutions will reopen on a phased approach starting on the 8th of June. Chishala Mwamba is Kubusu spokesperson, and he had this to say.
The move of reopening institutions starting on the 18th going onwards is a very great one. Though CBU, we are still waiting upon Senate to give an official statement on when exactly we're going to reopen. And I just want to hope management is doing their part with regards to preparing the necessary environment, a conducive environment to ensure that it doesn't become a breeding ground for COVID-19. But as for us as student leaders, we have ensured to communicate expediently to the student populace to prepare themselves because to the face masks, the sanitizers, and everything else that they need to prepare, the monies and everything.
Kopala TV also spoke to other students who had this to say about the reopening of higher learning institutions in the country.
With regard to the recent pronouncements by the Minister of Higher Education to say colleges and schools can reopen, I think it's a step in the right direction. That has been long overdue.
Well, on the issue of the government opening up universities and colleges, it's a very good idea because there are those who are in their examination classes, and them for opening up, it will be nice for them because if they won't try this year, meaning next year the colleges and universities will be congested.
The decision by the government to reopen schools is a very wise decision. I'm in support of it because I am a final year student. I'm doing my last semester at Mindele Ecumenical Foundation.
Dr. Mushimba said that a cautious approach to reopening will be implemented with strict adherence to COVID-19 regulations on social distancing, washing of hands, masking, and avoidance of unnecessary gatherings. Graduating students will be the first ones to commence lessons and subsequently write their exams based on calendars approved by their respective senates. Foreign graduating students will, however, continue with e-learning and their exams will be conducted online. Dana Kafwala, Kopala TV News in Kitwe.
The Southern African Center for the Constructive Resolution of Disputes, SACORD, has commended all the political parties participating in the Bulilo ward in Chilubi Town Council in Northern Province and the Nakato and Imalio wards in Mongu Town Council in Western Province local by-elections for conducting peaceful campaigns. SACORD Executive Director Boniface Chembe says from the time the company started operating in line with the COVID-19 measures and presidential directives, there has not been any major incidents of political violence that has been recorded.
SACORD would like to commend all the political parties participating in the Bulilo ward in Chilubi Town Council in the Northern Province and the Nakato and Imalio wards in Mongu Town Council in Western Province local by-elections for conducting peaceful campaigns. From the time that the campaigns started in line with the COVID-19 measures or guidelines and the presidential directives, there has not been any major incidents of political violence that has been recorded. These ward by-elections have shown again the abilities that the ruling and opposition political parties have in conducting peaceful campaigns bereft of political violence. As voting progresses, we urge all the electorates in the wards to turn out en masse and exercise their right to vote. We appeal to all political parties to ensure that the peace that was witnessed during the campaign period is maintained during the voting and the post-election period. We wish the people of the three wards all the best as they exercise their right of choice on who is best to represent them.
Kitwe Mayor Christopher Kangombe is impressed with the progress of the works being done at the Kafue Industrial Park by the Citizen Economic Empowerment Commission, CEEC. Engineer Christopher Kangombe, who yesterday inspected the area to appreciate works being done, expressed gratitude to the government for considering Kitwe as one of the sites for the establishment of industrial parks. The mayor made an appeal to the contractor to complete the works on schedule and further called on other partners to utilize the remaining 75 hectares from the 100 hectares that was reserved in Phase 1, as only 25 hectares has been utilized so far.
We are excited as a city. You are aware that last year Kitwe City Council did request that Kitwe be considered for a project of this magnitude, and we are grateful to His Excellency the President. We are grateful to his government that one of the sites that was selected for the establishment of an industrial park is obviously Kitwe. We are excited because we picked a location that predominantly is known for farming. Now the scale of farming across the Kafue is quite low, and this is why we found it necessary that we begin industrializing the city. And I think through this project, we believe industrialization has been scaled up in the city. So this project for us is a very important project, not only in responding to the government drive to industrialize as one of the 4 pillars on which development will take place.
In case you have just tuned in, you are watching the Kopala TV main news. We break for our commercials. We'll be right back.
Kopala TV, Kopala ya buena buena mumwesu Kopala. Kopala TV.
My number. Ishusho limentindeya za yama oji orushani. Kopala TV.
Yama oji. Imuntu wandi yesu. Fwebene by fwebene. Fwebene. Naidede kalasti. Yako Kopala futi yaba Kopala.
Manje kuikatashani yoina. Naena ya kuntambo oroni jiviji.
Wala iwe. Ile sangwa patopsta decoder. Channel 98 paku. Ninshi yatubira. Puta menso ninshi yalila ni efizimbwe. Kule izimoli la femunjazi.
So yuri landati Kopala TV tayawanga yama boiling channel wako watu wachila tamba fe wino. Kwangwa filamba fyambo kupona. Uruwa mfotoro. Pantu ifuma chane we fingi. Fiamu pura fi.
Alula iwe. Kopala TV ni Kopala futi eile kuchalo. No shali mokuba molasti. Elo ile sansa Kopala yonse my number. Ukwambila fipa my number pandola. Lwansha. Kito paketi ke. Mufurila mufuken. Chingola pa chingo begi na chidila. Iwe. Ni Kopala TV, liko.
Muntu wanja pakushongora fika top star we tatande tambela pofi Kopala TV. Pachani o 98 apa kude konkana ne charo bamba to bamba. Ni pate after pate. Wo, pate after pate. Wo. Kopala TV. OG. Kopala TV, available on Topstar Channel 98. Kopala TV, entertainment just for you.
Looking for an opportunity to grow your business? Well, Kopala TV has good news for all small-scale businesses. You can now advertise on Kopala TV's Makwebo. bonse bana mayo na bashtata iseni mulangishe amakwebo yenu pamutengo uachepa nga 100 kwacha. Yes, you heard right. For as low as 100 kwacha, your business will get its peak. Whatever the business, we will advertise. All you need to do is send a text of what your business offers, indicating the name, location, and contact details to the number below. Payment for the advertising spot can be made through MTN mobile money on the number down below. Makwebo, make your business known.
One Zambia, one nation.
Zambia chalo chesu. Stop political violence.
I am Zambian. I am against political violence.
I am Zambian, and I say disarm all cadres now.
It's not one Zambia if we kill each other. Stop the violence.
It's not good killing one another as Zambians. Stop the violence.
Let's keep the peace in our streets. Let's work to stay one Zambia.
It's not one Zambia if we kill each other. Stop the violence.
Ndimwina Zambia. Lekeni ukulwa pamulandu wa politics.
Welcome back. The Patriots for Economic Progress, PEP, have advised the PF government to go back into the library and retrieve a book entitled Animal Farm, as it holds a lot of lessons for the PF government, especially as 2021 is fast approaching. PEP National Mobilization Chairman Henry Muleya says they have followed with keen interest the behavior of the Minister for Lusaka Province in relation to the protection of the Constitution and respecting the rule of law.
As Patriots for Economic Progress, we've followed with keen interest the behavior of the Minister for Lusaka Province in relation to the protection of the Constitution and respecting the rule of law. Our observation, as we've pointed out in the past, is that the PF government has created two classes of citizens. One class is made up of PF members who are immune to both criticism and prosecution. And the other class is made up of all those viewed to be non-PF sympathizers who have no right to speak, to move, or to seek protection from the state, no matter the injury caused to them. The case of Bowman versus the artists is not a one-off event, but a norm which our government has accepted and sees no problem continuing with.
Still in political news, All People's Congress Party APC President Nathan Musoni has said that freedom of expression is not a privilege, but it is enshrined in the Constitution. Mr. Musoni says democracy is all about citizens expressing themselves in any manner, and therefore it is not correct to issue threats to anyone. Mr. Musoni said this in an interview with Kopala TV News.
Our citizens, our young people are on firm ground if they so wish to express themselves. And no one has the right to take away that freedom. For any functional democracy anywhere in the world, freedom of expression is the cornerstone of that democracy. So to assert that should you express yourself, I will arrest you, I will unleash a force on you, I think it's most unfortunate.
You are still watching the Kopala TV main news. We break once again. Join us after that.
Kopala TV, Kopala ya buena buena mumwesu Kopala. Kopala
TV. My number. Ishusho limenti ndeya za yama uji urushani.
Kopala TV. Yama oji. Imuntu wandi Yesu. Fwebene by fwebene. Fwebene. I did the kalasti. Yako Kopala futi yaba Kopala.
Manje kuikatashani yoina. Naena ya kuntambo oro ni jiviji.
Wala iwe. Ile sangwa patopsta decoder. Channel 98 paku. Ninshi yatubira. Puta menso ninshi yalila ni efidimbwi. Kule izimoli la femunjazi.
So yuri landati Kopala TV tayawanga ya boiling channel wako watu wachila tamba fe wino. Kwangwa filamba fyambo kupona. Uruwa mfotoro. Bantu ifuma chane we fingi. Fiamu pura fi.
Alola iwe. Kopala TV ni Kopala futi eile kuchalo. No shali mokuba molasti. Elo ile sansa Kopala yonse my number. Ukwambila pepe my number pandola. Lwansha. Kito paketi ke. Mufudila mufuken. Chingola pa chingo begi na chidila. Iwe. Kopala TV, liko.
Muntu wanja pakushongora fika top star we tatande tambela pofi Kopala TV. Pachani o 98 pakude konkana ne charo bampa to bamba. Ni pate after pate. Wo, pate after pate. Wo. Ha. Kopala TV. OG. Kopala TV, available on Topstar Channel 98. Kopala TV, entertainment just for you.
Looking for an opportunity to grow your business? Well, Kopala TV has good news for all small-scale businesses. You can now advertise on Kopala TV's Makwebo. Bonseba na mayo na bashtata. Iseni mulangishe amakwebo yenu pamutengo uachepa nga 100 kwacha. Yes, you heard right. For as low as 100 kwacha, your business will get its peak. Whatever the business, we will advertise. All you need to do is send a text of what your business offers, indicating the name, location, and contact details to the number below. Payment for the advertising spot can be made through MTN mobile money on the number down below. Makwebo, make your business known.
One Zambia, one nation.
Zambia chalo chesu. Stop political violence.
I am Zambian. I am against political violence.
I am Zambian, and I say disarm all cadres now.
It's not one Zambia if we kill each other. Stop the violence.
It's not good killing one another as Zambians. Stop the violence.
Let's keep the peace in our streets. Let's work to stay one Zambia.
It's not one Zambia if we kill each other. Stop the violence.
Ndimwina Zambia. Lekeni ukulwa pamulandu wa politics.
Welcome back once again. In foreign news, most South African schools have reopened. The students in their final years of primary and secondary school have been allowed to return. We monitored Al Jazeera for these details.
It's an anxious start to the day at Westbury Primary School in Johannesburg.
So we're all scared. I'm scared. But you have my word that we are doing everything as prescribed to keep your child safe.
Principal Sheldon Makoni speaks to parents gathered outside the school. Many say they're not confident that enough's been done to safeguard their children.
I spoke to a few of the parents who said, I don't know what's happening.
The reopening was delayed by a week after teachers' unions and parents complained about a lack of personal protective equipment and poor sanitation at some schools. The government says 95% of schools are now ready, but some parents don't feel reassured.
We're all worried. And for it being put out there to parents to say, do not worry, how do you not worry as a parent?
Thousands of students in the Gauteng province are discovering their school routine is now very different. They're having to wear masks and keep their distance from others. Their temperatures are also checked while they stand in the cold waiting for others to be registered and screened.
It's been a nightmare. The amount of hours we've put into this, it's enormous. Up till yesterday, I was involved in a Zoom meeting with politicians, department officials, trying to determine exactly how ready we are. Because it's something new for everybody. You can say you're ready, and then something jumps up that you haven't thought about.
While online schooling will continue for those who want to stay at home, for schools with fewer resources, that's not an option. This school is giving out education packs for parents to collect. But as the number of COVID-19 infections in South Africa grows sharply, many say they're being forced to balance between educating their children and keeping them and themselves safe. Famida Mala, Al Jazeera, Johannesburg.
In Mozambique, prostitution continues in the midst of a health crisis, and red light areas are just as busy despite the risk of contracting COVID-19. Even during the state of emergency, at dusk, the women of the street come out parading as they search for clients. It is risky, but they say they are aware of the disease and are taking preventive measures. We monitored Africa News for this story.
We wash our hands with soap and water, and we always wear a mask. We also have soap and water for our guests. When they enter the room, they have to wash their hands. At the time of the relationship, we each wear a mask. While the province has already confirmed cases of the new coronavirus, 2 of them are sex workers, a Mozambican and a foreigner. Right now, our business is not good because of the coronavirus. All the stands are closed, so these men don't come here. This is our concern, and we want the government to intervene and find a solution.
Finally, in foreign news, the number of coronavirus cases in Pakistan has passed 100,000. Infections jumped after the Islamic holy month of Ramadan ended and markets reopened. Doctors and other health professionals wanted tougher lockdown measures, including the closure of mosques, but the government rejected them. More than 2,000 people in Pakistan have died from COVID-19 since the outbreak began. We monitored Al Jazeera once again.
Absolutely. It's important to note that Pakistan, the number of confirmed cases in this country have now surpassed that of China. And that, of course, is raising concern here because the World Health Organization had earlier warned that that figure could go to 200,000 or possibly even above that by July. So indeed, this is a warning sign. And as you mentioned, the government also in a very difficult position because on the one hand, it's the survival of millions of people who depend on daily wages by doing daily jobs. And the unemployment figures, of course, rising, that Pakistan cannot afford such a calamity. Also important to note that 2 of the hardest hit provinces are the province of Sindh with over 38,000 confirmed cases and the Punjab. Both are densely populated. They also contribute a significant amount to the economy, and the government estimates, these are initial estimates, that the country has already suffered 2.5 trillion rupee loss because of COVID-19. Also not to forget that large swarms of locusts are also sweeping through the bread baskets, and that, of course, could threaten Pakistan's food security. So the government in a real fix, because on the one hand, if they do go into a lockdown, there will be millions and millions of people, almost 65 million laborers work in Pakistan. They will be unemployed, and there would, of course, be then the consequences and ramifications of that. So indeed a difficult position, but a dangerous time, and the medical experts warning that the next 2 weeks will be critical.
That item wraps up the Kopala TV main news for today, but before we go, we recap on our stories that made headlines. Graduating students on the Copperbelt welcome the reopening of higher learning institutions. SACORD commends all political parties participating in local by-elections in Northern and Western Province. And in international news, South African schools reopen as COVID-19 lockdown is eased. Thank you for watching the Kopala TV main news. My name is Wabula Musagole, and have a lovely day.